So in the last webinar, we talked about the fact that France comprises of 18 administrative regions with a population of 67 million, and also the world seventh largest economy, which is also ranked as one of the top study and tourist destination in the world. And of course, French is the main language, is the official language. We talked about the fact that, of course, euro is the official currency in France, and we have famous cities in France, which includes Paris, Marseille, Lyon, Reims, and John also. So we talked about that. And we also talked about top reason to study in France. We talked about high quality education with globally recognized degree. That is, when you get your degree in France, same with UK, but today we are talking about France. When you get your degree in France, it is globally recognized. When you can take such degree to UK, you can take it to USA. In fact, you can bring it back to Nigeria. It is globally recognized.
Okay. So, good afternoon once again. My name is Arthur Joshua. I'm the Visa Processing Officer of IBAT Travels and Tours Limited, aka Fly IBAT. And my colleague, Mr. Olumide, has introduced the topic we are going to be discussing today, which is France, which is your study abroad destination 2025, the visa phase. We are going to be talking about we are going to be touching one or two informations that you need to know before you apply for your France study abroad visa. All right. So let's move to the next slide. Now, what is the objective of this webinar? This webinar will be guiding you participants through the France study visa application process, which includes the Campus France procedure, your the documents required for France study visa, the proof of fund, what you need to know, which is where I know a lot of people have mistakes and issues when it comes to their visa application processing and the common mistakes to avoid. All right. So if you are in a comfortable environment, you can also take a pen to jot down one or two points that you might need during your France if you want to commence on a journey for a France study application. All right. So moving forward, um, let's discuss the Campus France procedure. Now, the Campus France procedure is the first step you need to take when embarking on your France study visa um, application. Okay, so what is a Campus France? Campus France is a portal. It's a site where you register and you get to fill in your information. And as you can see on my screen, the website for Campus France is www.nigeria.campusfrance.org. Now, as a France student, you can proceed with anything study if you are not registered on Campus France Nigeria. All right. So the first step to take is to create an account and choose the Etude de France platform. You register on the Campus France platform, and then you proceed to the next step, number two, which is you submit. Sorry. Okay. Let's leave that. Okay, you proceed to number two, your next step, which is you upload your admission and academic documents. Now, you upload your admission letter, you upload your academic transcript, you upload your certificates, your O level certificates, your BSc certificates if you are going for masters, but if you are going for BSc, you upload your O level certificate, all right, and then your passport data page, your CV, and your motivation letter. All these documents you upload them on your Campus France portal, and you submit to the Campus France. Now, note, which is where most people tend to get lazy. They are lazy about this particular issue. Most people snap documents when sending to schools and all this, and it's not ideal actually. And most importantly, when it comes to Campus France, in order to avoid delays, it is better you go to a cyber cafe, or if you have a printer, you scan your documents properly in PDF format or JPEG format, all right, and make sure they are clearly legible before you upload them on your Campus France portal. Reason is that if you don't scan it properly, you will end up prolonging your application process. That is, if they don't see your documents, if they are not seeing the informations on it, they will still come back to you to tell you that you should upload so and so documents properly, that it is not well seen. All right, and that will delay the whole process for you. And so to avoid delay, it's better you scan from the beginning to avoid unnecessary delays. All right, now moving forward, number three, after uploading your documents, you would Campus France will approve your documents. Now the Campus France approval takes like 2 to 3 weeks. All right, so it takes 2 to 3 weeks. Takes 2 to 3 weeks for Campus France to approve your documents, and every information you need to get will be sent to your Campus France portal or to your mail. You also be seeing it via your email. All right. Now, once they approve your documents, you move to number three, which is you pay your Campus France fee. You pay your Campus France fee, which will move you to the next phase. Now, the Campus France fee is just 50,000 naira, which is non-refundable. Now, this fee is what will give you it will give you a go ahead to proceed to the interview phase, because you will need to go for a Campus France interview, which is my next point. You'll be going for a Campus France interview. In this interview, they will be questioning you on your documents. The interview phase, they'll be questioning you on your documents to ensure that you are ready, and to ensure that to ask you questions on your study motivation, your academic background, and your preparedness. All right, and they'll be also be asking you why you chose France. They will also ask you questions about your course. They also ask you how you fund your studies and your future plans. All right, so in order to be ready for all this, you need to prepare for this interview actually, which is why we as a travel agency, Fly Ibert, will be willing to assist you through the whole process. All right, and to ensure that you don't make any mistakes during your application process. Now, when you go for your Campus France interview, they will ask you all these questions, which I you can see on my screen here. Now, this Campus France interview is not like the normal it's not the main interview. All right, it does not guarantee your visa. Okay, you are just going there for a prep section. They are just prepping you for the main to make sure that you have everything on ground and there's nothing missing, and there's nothing that will actually make you get denied. All right, when you go for the main for the main appointment. All right, I hope you understand. And then after a successful completion of this interview, you'll be given a no sorry all right, so you'll be given a no objection certificate. All right, this no objection certificate will be given to you at the Campus France center. They have a center at Abuja, they have one in Lagos. All right, so if you are staying in Lagos, you go to the one in Lagos. You'll be given a no objection certificate after your interview, which you present at your visa appointment. All right, now France don't do interviews when it comes to the visa session. All right, what you'll be doing mostly is just biometrics and appointment, which is why you actually need this Campus France interview. All right, because nobody will be asking you questions at the submission center. Now, moving to the next step, um, what are the documents required? What are the documents required? Now, we've discussed the Campus France fees, and you've known one or two things about the whole admission, the processing through the Campus France portal. Although I've not broken it down completely, but I believe you've been able to understand to some points. All right, now in order to begin that Campus France phase, which we just discussed, what are the documents you need? What are the things you need to have? Okay, before you even start your France study journey. All right, the first thing you need is a visa application form filled on the France form website, which is the France dash visas.gouv.fr. That's the France website for their form. You fill your application form there. Now, during the Campus France application process, you will not be needing a form. All right, but when you are going for the interview, that is when you actually need a form, a visa application form, which is why it is included here on the first number, on the first place. Okay, now the number two thing you'll be needing is two color ID photographs, a passport photograph. All right, to make it simpler, passport photographs, two photographs, a 3.5 by 4.5, taken recently against a plain white background. All right. And then you need an international passport with a minimum of 15 months validity, and it must contain at least two blank pages. All right. Now, why do you need 15 months? Okay. Now, during your process, during your application process, you might encounter one or two setbacks. All right. And during those setbacks, starting your campus finance application, your opening your portal, and you might have filled a particular passport on the portal. All right. Now imagine you had a setback, and your passport is just at least you need 6 months for a normal travel. For a normal travel, you need at least 6 months validity period. But during the case of a study application, now you need more than that, because you might encounter one or two setbacks. Now imagine you have just 6 months and you use it to apply for your visa, and you had a setback. Now you need to apply for another for another passport. Okay. And that will be wasting of time. You actually waste more time, and you actually need to come back to the campus finance portal to start editing, correcting your passport information. But to avoid all those things, you should just, to cut the long story short, just make sure your passport is at least 15 months valid, 15 months and above, to avoid setbacks. All right. Now moving to the next option, you need one colored copy of the passport front page. That's your passport, your international passport, and all the relevant pages containing your previous visas. Now these previous visas can be Schengen visas, your previous Schengen visas, previous UK visas, USA visas, Canada visas, and then, okay, these are just the countries they had actually identify. All right. But then if you have other visas that have been stamped on your passport, other sticker visas, you can also do a colored photocopy of them and take with you. All right. So moving forward, documents related to the academic aspects which you need to provide. You need to provide original and copies of the last diploma slash your degrees, which is your WAEC certificates, your NECO certificates, and or your university certificates, and most importantly, your transcripts. You also need transcripts. All right. Your copy of the acceptance slash admission letter from a French academic institution. All right. So when you apply to an institution, they will give you your admission letter. So you also need to present that. All right. And then your proof of payment, your proof of payment of the course fees, that's your school fees. You need to also provide it if applicable. Then if you're on scholarship, a scholarship letter, that is if applicable. Then a copy of the attestation of admission printed from the Etudes de France portal, which is also your Campus France portal. When Campus France approves your documents, there will be a copy of attestation of admission that you will need to also print out to take along with you, which is like a go-ahead document. They are giving you a go-ahead that you can proceed to apply for your visa. All right. Now, moving forward, your financial side, in the financial side, sorry, you need the original bank statement of the last 3 months belonging to you, or if you are going to be sponsored, from your sponsor. All right. Then, if you are employed, you need working certificates, your employment certificate, your pay slips, and your means of income in general. All right. And then in case you don't have your own resources, that's for people below 18. If they are going for like a BSc or something, they should get a notarized financial guarantee form, which you will be provided for you during your application process. All right. During your application process, it will be sent to your mail, and you fill that form. Your guarantor will also fill the form, and they will sign it, and you will also be taking it with you when going for your visa application process. Now, moving to the next one, the accommodation phase, which is very, very important. A lot of people find it difficult, but we can actually assist when it comes to that. We have partnerships with various organizations and boards that actually assist with accommodation when it comes to the France side. Okay, so what you need for when you have issues with the accommodation, there are ways through which you can solve it. You can either write to the school to help you find with they'll issue you a document to actually state that, okay, if you have not been able to get an accommodation, they will give you a document stating that you'll be staying in so place for so time, all right, for a period of time. And during those period of time, they will state the date, they will state your name. That document will carry your name, your the date you'll be staying, the address of the accommodation, etc. And now, things to note, when applying for and you are taking accommodation documents with you, don't do an hotel, don't do an Airbnb reservation, because the embassies don't accept it. All right. If you actually do if you take one of those with you, you might actually get refused. Okay, because those are like a temporary those are temporary reservations, temporary stays. Okay. And now they want to know that you already have a place, that when you get there, you have a place you are going to stay. You're not going to be sleeping on the street because you've not sorted out your accommodation. All right. So now the accommodation certificate must mention your name, which I've mentioned before, your name, the address of the accommodation, the dates covering the duration of your course, and if you are being hosted. Now, if you'll be staying with someone, the person needs to provide his or her tenancy agreement, which is a contract of accommodation. All right, the recent bill payments, like utility bills. This one is actually optional. The residence permit, the person's residence permit. Okay, person's ID, like a passport data page, or any other valid ID card that is recognized, and then a signed statement affirming that the person will be hosting you as a student, and the duration of time he or she will be hosting you, right? And then additionally, for minors which are under 18s only, they need a parental authorization, which is a written guarantors form from the hosting person or guardian in France to take care of the student. And the parent must present a letter authorizing the guardian for the custody and care of the minor. That's for people below 18. That is people that fall in the BSc category. And you also need the travel insurance. Very, very, very important. You need at least a 1 year travel insurance. Without a travel insurance, you're going nowhere. All right. And then you need a plane ticket, a booked flight reservation. Let me put it that way. You don't necessarily need to book that flight. You just need to reserve. You can make it a one way or whatever, and then you just use it for your visa application process. All right. Now, moving forward, proof of funds. Let's talk about the proof of funds. What do you need to know? What you need to know now. A lot of people have issues when it comes to this particular aspect of when applying for visa applications. All right, because this is a very, very important phase. Okay. Now the POF in France study visa application is very, very critical. Okay, it assures the embassy that you have enough financial resources to cover your tuition fees, your living expenses, and other costs that during your stay in France, without relying on anything illegal or facing financial hardship. All right. So now the French authorities need to see that you can actually sustain yourself throughout the entire period of your stay. Yeah, which is why you actually need the proof of funds. All right. So now the required amount for your proof of funds, the France regulations require at least just 615 euros per month. Okay, you just need 615 euros per month. That is what they require. And then if for that 615 euros, you'll be staying for at least a year. That's if you are doing a 1 year course. So how are you going to calculate it now? For example, you calculate a 12-month program times 615 euros multiplied by 12, which is 12 months, a year. It will give you 7,380 euros. Now you now add that 7,380 euros plus maybe the balance of your school fees, your tuition fees, if you have not paid completely. Maybe you made a deposit and you've not balanced up. Now you have to actually have that balance in your account, then plus your living expenses. And then when you say, for example, your the balance of your school tuition fees, 5,000 euros, 5,000 euros. Okay. Now 5,000 euros plus 7,380 euros, which is your living expenses per month. Okay, the total of your living expenses per month, sorry, plus your tuition fee. Now it will give you 12,380 euros in total. Okay, now you need to have 12,380 euros in total in your bank account. All right, and you'll be providing a 3 month statement of account. Now, unlike other countries, France, you actually need 3 month statement of account. Now, how do you need to run this account? Now, as we go further, I will explain how you need to run your account. All right, so moving forward, what are the common mistakes to avoid? Common mistakes to avoid. Okay, so number one, I have just two on my list here. So number one is the unstable proof of fund. Okay, so now this is where I'll discuss how you run your account. So you need to take a pen in case you need to jot down something. Now you need unstable proof of funds, POF, is one of the common mistakes that you need to avoid. All right, so now when running your POF, you should avoid sudden large deposits or lack of regular account activities that make your finances look suspicious. Now you need to keep the required balance for at least 4 months before your application, and ensure account activity is consistent. All right. So remember I said before that you need 3 months statement of accounts for France. All right. That is, you'll be presenting 3 months. But to avoid suspicion, you need to run that account for 4 months at least. Okay. So that when you are printing the statement, you'll be printing 3 months, and it will not just be showing some suspicious figure if you just print out 3 months. Now if you, for example, like I stated above, that you need at least 12,380 euros. Now you can put that 12,380 euros in your account. We actually assist with POF too. If in case you need assistance with POF, you can reach out to us, FlyIBAT, and we help you run your account perfectly. All right, for your visa application. This is one of the service we offer. All right, now moving on, if you put that 12,380 euros in your account in the fourth month, now you have put that money in the fourth month, you can actually still be making some meaningful deposits, just maybe little deposits within the space of that 4 months to the third month, the second month, and then the first month before you actually print out your statement. All right. Now, why you be doing this is just to make sure that it does not look as if you just put that money there once in that fourth month, and then in that fourth month there's no money coming in and out of the account. It will actually look suspicious. Yeah. So you need to actually put money in the fourth month, and then make sure the account is properly run um, within those period of time. Now the visa processing takes at least 20 working days, but in some cases where issues might occur, it is advisable you apply early to give room for reapplication. Now, in case you actually encounter some setbacks during your visa application process, maybe you get denied for one or two things. Now, if you apply early, it will actually give you a chance to actually reapply and meet up with your admission date. All right. So, at least you need to apply 2 to 3 months before your departure, just to make sure that you are on the right track and you actually meet up with your admission date. In case you have setbacks, now setbacks can be visa refusals. Now, for example, let me just give you an example. You were denied visa, and you applied for your visa maybe like a month before your resumption time, and then they refuse your application. They give you a reason for refusal. Now when they give you that reason for refusal, you need to go back and work on that reason, and either you correct whatever error has been made, and then you reapply. But if you don't apply early, you would need to actually move your admission process, or you actually lose that admission, okay, because you did not apply early. So, but just to avoid this situation now, you need to apply early. Now, coming to us as a travel agency, we will help you to avoid these pitfalls, these mistakes that people make. All right. I will help you from the beginning of your application, your admission process. We'll help you with your interview. We'll prep you for your interview, help you with your visa application processing, and we'll make sure that you run your statement of accounts properly to avoid denial. Now, I've seen many cases where people apply by themselves, and at the end of the day, they get refused by the France embassy. Now, but to avoid all these things, because it's actually a lot of time. Okay, now imagine putting in your time in your application and a lot of money, and you get refused because you did not come to the right source. All right, that would be I know it's actually depressing. It's not, a lot of people don't actually sit well with it, because so in order just to avoid that, you can reach out to us, iBat Travels, in our website www.flyibat would help you with the application process and make sure that you are on the right track. I've come to the end of my presentation. I hope I've been able to touch one or two things. Merci beaucoup.
Fly iBots. Explore the world effortlessly.